are upset because of how this challenges what they have, and they don't want to let go, and others who let go and find that that there's a richness in this generosity too. And I would point out that tithing is a Jewish law, right? I grew up in an evangelical church that always reminded that God taught us to tithe 10%, but Jesus told us to give 100. So.
In the Baha'i faith, we believe that a portion of your income should go to help individuals who are needy and for social services. When you bring up the point about a sixth of the government's income going for social services, you know, there are just so many issues related to that, and if it's properly spent and if there are the proper programs, but we certainly do believe that some sort of system should be in place to provide for those who are needy in the community.
I understand your question is, what do you think of the taxes used to provide for the needy? You're talking about the taxes. Who is ready to pay the taxes? We always have problem with our taxes. And we are, say, in the cases of any rise in the labor, I read every day about the McDonald's. They want this much money for the people working over there, and this much there. There is a problem of the taxes for everybody. If anybody talks about the taxes for the needy over here, he or she should be sent to India or Pakistan or to other third world countries, and they will come to know in a week that how much taxes are helping us here. This is a great country, and we should always feel happy that we happen to be here. Everything is easily available in this country, and we have no problems in this country. And if you want to see more taxes and all that, then you should go and stay for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks in third world country, and you will come to know when you have to stand in a queue for hours together for a bottle of milk. I think that will, I am answering your question.
Just very briefly, the debate among scholars relates to the role of Sharia in society. Sharia being the general term for Islamic law. If there is no government in place and the Sharia becomes the law of the land, and then it becomes the responsibility through the Sharia to provide for all the people, as I mentioned in those categories, shelter and sustenance, trade and travel, security, and protection of religious practices. If there is already an established polity, an established governmental system, which is what we have, then the Sharia becomes essentially a system of ethics. And so within the tradition, then our focus is not so much are these needs being fulfilled, but how do we fulfill them and how do we improve the process of fulfilling them. And the basic function of government then is to provide stability. And so if 6% is needed to provide stability, then we say, alhamdulillah, none of us like to pay taxes, but this is what you have to do. But that would not alleviate our individual responsibilities, what we call the zakat and sadaqah, meaning general charity. But with that, we're going to stop here and hand it over to Tanel. And once again, let's give a round of applause to all of our presenters.